welcome to the Red Room. Today we are going to show you our newest release, Grindhouse Red.
Grindhouse Red is the micro red version of very well, very. I was
Very
going to
old.
call it very old, but 3 years old. It's one of the most one of the oldest.
That never had a
It's the
second
only
version.
one, yeah, the only one that never had a second edition. We talked about it, doing a second edition for exploitation. We never did. There were some problems related to doing a second edition because if you remove the rules from there, there won't be.
There was no setting, yes.
Yeah, there was no setting, and still there's no setting. But in this case, there are rules. They are summarized rules. They are micro red, as in the previous releases. But still, it's a complete game. Even though there's no setting, I included as well a one of our scenarios, Knuckles of Steel. It's included in this one.
It's a black exploitation scenario.
I think it's fitting, and I like that scenario. So, and I'm assuming that people who wanted to buy it have already bought it in the past, so might as well include it here as well, instead of just doing a new introductory scenario. This one is a little larger than what we usually do for introductory scenarios, and that's another reason because it allows that scenario to be explored in other ways, not just that scenario, but the information there can be used for doing other other adventures in Emmettville, because that's where the. So even though there are some references to Ratchet stuff, like Emmettville, for example, this is not a Ratchet game. It's a micro red game or a red game. Now, I think it's time to show it, because there's nothing better than to show the game. Okay, so this is the cover. If you know Redploitation, you might recognize some of it. Some of these elements were used in the first edition of Redploitation, the first and the only one. That Dirty Harry style guy was there. The weird woman with the knife was there as well, and the black woman was also there. Now she's in a smaller position. Just
But the other ones all were in the.
yes,
Pockets.
most of the others were included in the game master screen, except martial artist guy there is new. It was done by the same author. The author is Wargul. It's not his name, of course. It's the name he uses. Yeah, done some stuff for the first exploitation, and it's fitting. Now, of course, the interior is a little bit different, so the cover is not exactly correspondent to the rest of the art in the game. Most of it is public domain. There's some stock art as well, but we'll go in there after this. Okay, so
I like the hair of the black martial art guy.
Okay, so the introduction includes a short story by Roger C. Jones. It's called Paper Doll. There's another short story by him at the end of the book. There's an introduction. It's quite similar to the original in Redploitation. Basically, it's some information about exploitation in general, the subtypes of which are many, the subtypes of exploitation which are many, a selected filmography, which is a big one, and after this we have something else that I'll have to explain. These like the dark corners and the other bits of stories or plot hooks that we did in other games before this one were shared by Mark Brooks in our Discord channel.
These ones are sleazy corners.
Yeah, these are sleazy corners. I don't think there were names for this. A generic name for them, so they are plot hooks for exploitation. So there are these pages, these slightly different pages, are this kind of thing, and they are also a little bit different from the others. Okay, so about character creation, there's something to be said about it. Even though this is a red game, I've used the names of the attributes in Ratchet because they are fitting for
Hmm.
exploitation. So instead of strength, it's muscle. Instead of intelligence, brains. Instead of charisma, magnetism. The other ones are the same. They are already similar to Ratchet, even in red, with agility and toughness. But the whole package is more similar to Ratchet. There's no sex appeal. That was an attribute that was used only in Ratchet. I didn't feel the need to add it to this. That's this is the most important difference between other Red games, which all use the same names for attributes, and this one. But in spite of that, it's basically the same thing. Three attributes have been retrofitted into Ratchet names, but they are six. There are still six. The rest of the basic rules are the same. As usual, you have an origin, so you roll in this table 1d4 or 1d6, depending if you want to have street level characters or a little bit more. So if you
I think for this type of game, I would prefer street level, but that would
yeah, but
be.
well, even the other, even in this case, even the top ones are not really. Maybe Kingpin is a little might be a little bit too much, but the rest kind of. And life path events as usual. So you roll a 1d20 for this to have a small bit of backstory. The archetypes are obviously adapted to this style.
Afro Vampire.
Yeah, unlike some of the previous micro red games, which had just a few archetypes, like 4 to 6. In this case, I had to add something more because it needs a little bit flavor, not just the fighter. That would be just
Yeah.
not good enough for this. So you have the Afro Vampire, which is obviously inspired by Blackula. The Avenger, Disco Star, Femme Fatale, and so on and so on. Okay, so I'm going to say something about the Afro Vampire. This character is a little bit more powerful than the others because he's a vampire, of course. But
Because it's black.
and yes, of course, because it's black power. But it also has mandatory drawbacks and some, which are some especially bad drawbacks, especially sunlight sensitivity. So it has advantages. It has disadvantages. It could be. I didn't.
If it has sunlight sensitivity, then you have to play. You can only be out at night.
Yes, unless the game master might allow sunglasses and
A sunscreen,
yeah,
total protection.
total protection. It might work. That's up to the game master. So this is the most powerful archetype. I would say that maybe the Psych Freak is also a little bit, but they are not optional. I think they have their own disadvantages that make them playable. And then you have other things like Avenger. So this is the spit on your grave style of character. The Disco Star, which is well, you can find them everywhere in black exploitation. Femme Fatale is always a nice archetype to have. Fixer and Wrestler, they're kind of similar, but not exactly the same thing. Martial artist, of course, Naughty Nun, and that's unavoidable.
And
Maverick Cop,
the cop needs to be a Maverick cop. Cannot be just a cop.
yeah, no, just well, you can play just a cop, but it should be a Maverick Cop. Murder Hobo, it's inspired by not by fantasy, even though the name is from fantasy, but it's inspired by that Rutger Hauer movie where he plays the hobo with a shotgun.
Mhm.
Nazi, which is might be literally a Nazi or a neo-Nazi, depends. I like the idea of playing an actual Nazi. Now, you might have a difficulty explaining why an actual Nazi is in a 1970s game, but well,
He was and he's not an old person. He was
might
conserved
be
in
an,
ice.
yeah, it could be an old man or it could be I don't know. That depends. Yeah, it could be like Captain America.
Hmm.
Bikers, pimps, private dicks, obviously unavoidable in a grindhouse game. The psych freak is the psychic. I'll show after this. It's a little bit different than the regular psychic powers in other red games. Ritualist is the usual thing for ritual magic. Street preacher, I think it's fitting here. There is no miracles in this game, but if you want to use them, you might change the street preacher into an actual practitioner of miracles, and then you can use it from other game, from one of the other red games. Vigilante, of course, from Death Wish. That's also the kind of thing that must be here. And the wheelman. The wheelman is the final archetype. So skills work as they work in all of the other red games. Some of the skills have different names because they would sound better for an exploitation game, but basically that's it. They are also less skills than in Ratchet, as as as
As
happened
per
in.
usual, yes, in Red. And
For
even more in
example, sorry.
I would say as usual in Red, right? We're having less
Yeah,
skill.
perks are also, I think, maybe a little more than usual because I had to add some perks that
I
should be
like the
here.
names.
Yeah, they are. The names have had to be changed, like Gearhead and Hard Body. Some of this Smooth Operator.
Mhm.
The drawbacks are not that much, and they are very directed to the kind of characters that you'll do in this game. Okay, the path of tainted virtue is the usual thing. So you have an alignment score that changes according to your actions. In this case, I guess most characters will end up
Mhm.
going towards the taint because this is exploitation, but not impossible. It's possible to have a good guy here. Gear and acquisition is the usual thing. You have acquisition rules. You don't have money here, or you have money but you don't spend it, and you don't do the accounting related to that. You just roll a die and roll it against a target number. There are some, even though most of the art is public domain illustrations, there are some stock art. There is some stock art that I used for the fake movie posters. Some of these ideas by Mark Brooks are like the description or the synopsis of movies, which can be used as ideas for
You did
adventures.
because you love doing movie posters.
Yes, well, and I didn't spend a lot of time doing these ones because the photos weren't that good, so I had to. I did some. I did the best I could with this because I wasn't going to use AI as I mentioned before, and as you know, finding stock
Mhm.
photos that fit here, it's kind of hard. I should mention that in experience and progression, because this is an exploitation game, the characters should be a little bit more powerful than usual, so it's easier to increase your levels. Also, health the health, which is the same as hit points, they have an advantage as well. So they are more likely to survive than characters from other games. Combat has no changes from other Red games, except vehicle combat, which has some slight changes. I'm not going into that, but I'm just informing it. Healing and hazards is basically the same thing. There aren't many explanations added to this. Fear and Panic is also the same thing as usual. Psychic talents are a bit different. The way they work is more or less the same, but then they are divided in different styles of. So you have mind control, you have sensory edge, future glimpses, raw power, and that's it. So they are divided in a different way. Ritual magic is also divided in a different way. So you have you should be specialized in something, but it's not really rules related. It's just role playing related. So you just pick what kind of conjurer your character is. In this kind of game, probably voodoo priest or something like that.
Or sex musician,
Or
depends on
yeah,
exploitation.
and then you have magic effects. The list of adversaries is a little bit shorter than usual. This is really not the game to explore the supernatural, though it's not impossible, but it will be mostly human adversaries. There's a note here. When using the health here, I use the rules to calculate the rules in this game to calculate health. If you want the characters to be easier to kill, then just ignore it and use toughness, just toughness instead of what you have here. So if you want mooks, you just change instead of using the health score that you find here, just give them toughness, which will make them easier to kill. So if they are supposed to be important enemies, use the health here. If not, just use toughness. Now we are going into the game mastering, which in this case almost replaces the setting. This is basically the stuff you want
Yeah.
to use. So there's an adventure generator with more detail than usual. So you have basic tables and then secondary tables. The base table has several so several entries, and then you have secondary tables to build up on that. And there's also an NPC generator, not for scores. You can use the adversary stat blocks for that. This is just for background stuff.
Salary and the motivations.
Yeah. And then we have the introductory scenario, which is Knuckles of Steel. As I mentioned before, this is larger than usual than what you usually do for introduction scenarios. There's a short description of Amatville, much shorter than the one in Vigilantes. Still, it's more than enough for this, and you can use it for other stuff. So you have pre-gens and NPCs as well. There's a glossary of Jive slang that you might find handy for having dialogues. The Amatville map, which can be used for the adventure or for something else as well. And another short story by Roger C. Jones. This one is called Cannibal Sacrament. I guess you guess what's it about, and it ends like this. So this is Grindhouse Red. If you purchase Redploitation, Grindhouse Red will be on your download section or your account. You can just pick it up there. For now, it's just digital, but there will be a print version.
As
I
soon as
have
possible, as usual.
Yes, I'll wait a little bit because
Hmm.
sometimes there are. Actually, I've just seen something that I need to change while doing this. Of course, it always happens. So there will be a 1.2 version soon, and probably a print version at well, not at the same time, a little bit later. I'm still waiting for two proof copies for Micro Red games, the last ones, the latest ones, and there's still one that I haven't still uploaded to Lulu as a print version. So some of those will be available soon.
Probably next month. Yeah, of course, because it's
Well,
the
definitely
it's
next
the
month.
best. Yes,
Definitely.
but I
Uh,
would say in July. I mean,
Even
not.
the ones I'm waiting for that probably on the way, they probably yeah they will arrive next month, early next month, I hope. Um, Something else that I
So
should
what's
say.
next?
Before I go into that,
Okay.
just an information. I'm starting to update the store. I'm going to include links for Lulu. At the moment, we don't really need them. I don't know, maybe. Well, at least not the digital. I prefer that you still buy them at the store. But I'm also going to include different links. But there used to be a link in the product description. Now I'm going to do them all the same. All they will be buttons below the product description, the short description of the product. There will be a button for digital, a button for paperback, and a button for hardcover whenever that happens, whenever there's an hardcover, and a button for downloading a what's it called, a
Preview.
yeah, preview. Whenever there's a preview, I'm going to make that free stuff invisible, and because it's a little bit confusing to use, so I'm going to remove those things and put them in inside each product. That you keep, not each product because I'm not going to have previews for everything, but the ones that have previews, they will be downloadable when you are looking at the synopsis of each item. Now, what's next? Do you know what's next? There's no
Space.
Yes, space, the final frontier. There's still no name for this one, but we can already announce that the next thing,
There's almost a name, right? I mean, there's a tentative name.
yeah, until the end of the day, I'm expecting more ideas to come. A while ago, I mentioned that we wanted to do some spin-off, kind of a spin-off for space, something more pulpish. But then I was talking to Roger Jones. He had some ideas. We're probably going to do something in collaboration, but that will be later. I decided to go ahead because we are playing Void Haven. Uh, I decided that's probably the time to do a micro red version of space, but the whole setting of space, not just a select few things. Except that I'm not going to include Ratchet stuff in there. Maybe the Legion. I won't call it Ratchet, but the Legion will probably be there. I think the Legion is useful for action-oriented adventures. I'll probably add something else for exploring the space, and I'm thinking about doing an adaptation of those rules in Uncharted Seas that were meant for organizing exploration trips. I think that fits this kind of game. That's something that was missing from Ratchet Space. There were no Not many rules for space exploration. Not rules at all. There were space combat rules, but not space travel. So there will be space travel rules. More detailed, not traveler or not like traveler or like Stella Gamma's games. Not that level of detail. It's a space opera, but some more detail. And finally, there will be illustrations for the alien races in space. We never did that. I've already talked to Chris. He's going to do the Clarish, the Seraph, the Serafani, and the other guys. These other ones I like. I don't really like the other ones. Well, yeah, the worm,
Historia, Zulfars.
yeah, the Dolphar are also cool. The other ones I'm not really a big fan of them. We probably are going to do a new cover for this one. Not entirely sure about that. I might use if I cannot find someone to do it. What I want to do, I'm still not sure. I might use the latest cover we had, which was by Jay Tanaka. But I'll try to have
Yeah,
some.
that was because it can get the people confusing the two
Yeah,
games.
it could
That's the
be.
problem because that's a very good cover.
But in this, yeah, it's a good cover. For this one, I think I would like something different. So I'll try. Um, and I think that's well. There's something else that I want to do. Space might take some time. I don't know. It depends on illustrations as well. I will. I also was thinking about doing a micro red version of Agents of Red, which
Yeah, we had
would
talked about that before.
yeah. So that's something that I'm going to work on as well. I'm not sure if it at the same time or after, or if I'll have
Probably
to.
while we wait for the illustrations.
Yeah, it depends. So if I finish Space and I still am waiting for illustrations, then I will start doing whatever it will be called. It won't be Agents of Wretch. There will be no Wretch. It will be a spy game basically, which won't be that hard to do because I can just use the rules for conspiracy files, do some slight changes, and then add some material like tables and all that. That's something else that I can work on very soon. But right now I'm really wishing to go into space. Not actually going to space, but yeah. I think by playing Void Haven Outpost, I got a niche for space opera. Even though Void Haven Outpost is a little bit
We're not
more.
really place. Well,
It's
we
uh,
are in the
it's
station,
a,
but we're not doing this. Who knows? Maybe we'll go in a
maybe you can yeah
shuttle soon.
yes even using the same characters maybe they can just leave the station and then we play Ratchet Space, not Ratchet Space, whatever it's going to be called. And I think that's it. I believe we covered all the news, and we are not going to talk about latest subjects.
No,
No, no,
no, please.
I have no wish to go into that.
Yes, no patience, no wish, and it's
Absolutely not.
Jesus.
And it's too hot here, so
That's what I was thinking. It's freaking hot.
it's freaking hot.
And I am in what is normally the
It's not.
coolest
By
of
the
the
way, it's
house.
not climate change. It's called summer.
Yes.
It's called summer.
Summer in Southern Europe.
Some people forgot about that, but yeah, it's called summer. It's warm in the summer, and sometimes it's freaking hot in summer, and it's starting to be like that. Okay, so go and buy Grindhouse Red. There's no AI in it. Mostly public domain. I'm not virtue signaling. I'm just telling you to buy it and not be afraid of the
Okay.
robots. There will be more robots to be afraid in space.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of robots in space. Well, some at least.
Okay, so have a nice weekend and see you around. Bye bye.